and San Francisco playing in Arizona. Here's a sight you never want to see, and that is Alex Smith injured on a play. He would go down awkwardly on the leg and would not return. The good news, it does not appear to be in any way devastating or related to the injury that he had before. So we'll leave that there. In the meantime, Washington's defense, Dan, was spectacular.
Yeah, this front seven, really, Greeny, is unbelievable. You see that sack fumble, and then Chase Young, I mean, he looks like Julius Peppers right now to me. Just that athleticism, that size, the power to pick up that fumble, scoop and score for the Washington football team.
That was his first career TV. Then what does Nick Mullins do wrong here?
Don't do it. Once your feet tell you you're late, don't do it. Don't do that late throw to that sideline. Those are cookies for the defense. Ryan Clark knows too well when that quarterback makes that decision and you're hanging out there with the flip in the end zone, this defense is turning people over and scoring.
Washington, 2 defensive touchdowns in a game for the first time in 23 years. Then it's Dwayne Haskins playing. Candidly, there's no other way to describe it. He looked very bad yesterday. This probably should have been an interception. It's ultimately overturned. Washington holds on to win. They win on the road without an offensive touchdown for the first time. % chance to win the division. And Rex Ryan, I'll turn to you because defense is your life. And if I were to say the reason I like Washington in the division is because if you line up the 4 teams, the best player in the division is Chase Young.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the impact this young man has had on that football team, the Washington football team, is incredible. The best unit on the field in the division is their defensive line, and they are so impactful in how they're playing. I mean, look, they can get pressure on the quarterback just by rushing those 4 guys. They had depth. Anytime you got a guy that's probably a 10 sack a year guy, Ryan Kerrigan, as a backup, you're in pretty good shape. So to me, this is a race to 7 games. We've said it all season. Whoever gets to 7 wins the division. And right now, it certainly looks like Washington.
They have the best chance to do it. And Dan, I thought that the performance of the Giants getting Daniel Jones back, hot as they've been, that was a very disappointing day.
Yeah, I mean, Greeny, everyone's going to point to that Giants defense and be like, they weren't great. I actually thought the Giants defense played well. It just felt like the Cardinals offense was on the field for the whole game. And that's because the Giants offense could not do anything. They could not protect Daniel Jones. And then his feel in the pocket was just subpar. And that's been something that's kind of been the story of his career. And I thought that if Daniel Jones just played like good football, the Giants could win this division. They would win this division. But I don't even know if he's going to play. I mean, he looked unexplosive yesterday. He looked like that hamstring still bothered him. I have no idea who to take in this division. I don't want to take anybody in this division. Like, that's where I am. Like, there's some things that I don't like, Greeny. Like, I don't like seafood. I don't like soup. I don't like milk chocolate. I don't like cooked vegetables. So I don't want any of them. And that's what I feel like with the NFC East. I don't want to pick any team. I don't want to pick any of these teams because I have no idea who's playing quarterback for who. RC, what are you doing?
RC, you okay?
How could you not like milk chocolate? He's got some issues.
Milk chocolate's disgusting.
I went to sleep, though. I went to sleep on Dan for 2 reasons. Everything that Dan mentioned just points to his bland taste in food. But very much like Dan's bland taste in food, so is the NFC East. There is nothing there that's tasty. There is nothing there that's spicy, but that defensive line of the Washington football team. Chase Young is everything that we thought Jadeveon Clowney would be. Chase Young is like Derrick Henry and the Predator went into a lab and they started working on both of them, and that's what came out of the lab. When the dude picked the ball up yesterday and started running with it, I promise, and I can say this. Nobody else around here can say this. He picked the football up, and I remember Sean Taylor scooping a fumble against the Philadelphia Eagles for a touchdown. I remember how little the football looked in his hand. I remember how fast he ran down the sideline, and he was in the all-white for the Washington. It was somebody else than the Washington football team, and it looked exactly like that. I got that feeling. That I was watching something that we hadn't really seen. And it was amazing to see. And if this defensive line continues to play the way that they have, if they can find ways to continue to create offense with some people being banged up, this team does win it. And like Rex says, if this is a race to see who could get the 7 games first, and I'm picking the player to get in that race, I'm going to pick Chase Young because he's probably going to beat everybody racing. And when you have a player like this, when you make a great decision like this to go get your coach, your team rallies around him, you have a quarterback that fights back from not only almost not playing again, but losing a leg, they're inspired and they're playing inspired football. And in a whole division full of stink, at least they smell like roses sometimes.
Okay, and I guess the only way I could finish this up would be to say, who doesn't like soup? I mean, of all things, soup is the thing you don't like.
What's the point of soup?
Soup.
You don't like
we'll take a short break on that.
and seasoning.
Get my man a bowl of matzo ball, and we'll move it on here. As ago, we're unbeaten. All of a sudden have lost consecutive games, and I will start with my resident former Steeler, Ryan Clark. What is the number one most important thing people should be thinking about Pittsburgh now on a losing streak?
People should not be surprised at the fact that they lost to the Bills. I mean, this was a game that they were supposed to lose. They played the better football team at this point of the season. And so the Pittsburgh Steelers fans, the organization, you have to start getting concerned, one, about what your playoff seeding is going to be, because now you'll have a tiebreaker loss against the Buffalo Bills if you happen to lose 3 games and they continue to win. The other thing is, which one of these teams that are playoff teams can you beat in the first round?
Yeah.
The conversation has totally changed. The narrative has totally changed. It was, can this team challenge Kansas City to be the AFC champion? Now it's trying to figure out which of the other 6 teams they can actually beat. This team is beat up on defense. There's no creativity on offense. There's no explosiveness on offense. When you look at the way that they were stopped in the run game, you thought that getting James Conner and Marquise Pouncey would help with that. Deontay Johnson early drops again, and now all of a sudden, where's Chase Claypool down the field? Where's James Washington? And we all know what Juju Smith-Schuster is. This team was predicated on this defense being dominant. You can't lose the Bushes of the world, the Bud Duprees, the Vince Williams, the Spillanes, the Joe Haytons, and think that you can stop a team as explosive as the Buffalo Bills with the quarterback playing as good as anybody's playing in the league. They were supposed to lose this game. They lost this game, and they should be extremely happy they didn't lose by more.
They played 3 games in the last 12 days, Rex, and in those 3 games, they rushed for 136 yards combined, the Steelers. 3 games, 136 yards rushing. Can they win playoff games if they are this kind of one-dimensional?
No way can they do it, but nobody can. You have to have balance when you get in the playoffs, and this is like unreal. And you know it was coming. We all felt it was coming. And then they just, and the other point is this. We have an old Ben Roethlisberger at quarterback. He went against a young Ben Roethlisberger on the other side. So Josh Allen, to me, that's what this guy used to look like. And he ain't there. And so right now, Big Ben is, he's older. He doesn't have the arm strength he once had. And you're putting everything on his shoulders when you don't have a run game. So to me, I think it's what Ryan's saying. Who can they beat in the playoffs? I'm not sure they can beat anybody in the playoffs.
Dan Orlovsky, let's pick up on that point on Josh Allen. To come out, he did not have a huge first half. And then in the first 2 drives of the second half, when they basically took over the game, he was 8 of 8 for 104 yards and 2 touchdowns. What are you seeing right now in Josh Allen?
Yeah, there is no other quarterback in the AFC playoff picture race outside of Patrick Mahomes that I want in the fourth quarter than Josh Allen. And I'm not going to let you guys make this about the Steelers. This is about the Buffalo Bills. This is about the Buffalo Bills, because there's a lot of Buffalo Bills doubt and there's a lot of Buffalo Bills hate. And everyone's like, they don't have enough signature wins, or their quarterback's not good enough. You guys, everyone watched the second half yesterday? Everyone watched what he did on third downs yesterday? Third and longs, when the game's trying to get decided. One shallow cross is there. Tight end uncovered, get it out of your hands. Quarterback sneak. Outstanding job by him of navigating their offense in situational football and then being the difference maker in the fourth quarter. And that's what I love about Josh Allen's game. Everyone was saying, like, the Buffalo Bills, they don't have any signature wins. They got 10 wins. 7 of them. 7 are against teams that are 500 or better. This is a team that has a quarterback playing top 5 football. They got a top 5 coaching staff. They got an offensive dominant in 2 different ways, pass blocking or run blocking. Stephon Diggs is a dog. I know he's really good and a really good route runner. He's also a dog, a guy that wants the ball in crunch time, and their defense is getting better. Stop the Buffalo Bills' doubt. They're the second best team in that conference and the only one that has a chance to beat the Kansas City Chiefs.
I will say this too. Go ahead, Rex.
Yeah, right now, the funny thing is, they have the second best quarterback in the AFC.
Correct.
So when you look at it, how do you win games? You win games on third down and the red zone. He's always been the best in both those categories, and he can lead his team from behind. So to me, if their defense keeps getting better, this is the team to watch out for.
RC, you look skeptical.
Oh, no, listen, I agree with everything everybody's saying. I know the Bills Mafia is extremely excited that we're talking about them, and Dan is getting mad at people and talking about everyone. I don't know who everyone is who has said all these things. And then now Rex is saying things like, and now Rex is saying things like Josh Allen is the second best quarterback in the AFC. I agree with everything but that. I think Deshaun watching this, but the one thing Rex is right about is that when you look at a team and you think about any team that is going to be in the playoffs, it's Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills that you have to be scared of. You have to wipe away what you saw early on in the season when Kansas City and Buffalo played. Josh Allen is more confident now. This defense is playing better football, and they have a rushing attack with 2 running backs that's starting to get better. The Buffalo Bills are scary, and people better hope they don't get the 2nd seed in the playoffs.
And the one thing I will say to sort of finish it up, since they played that game against Kansas City, if not for the miracle Hail Mary, known as the Hail Murray by Kyler Murray, the Bills would have won 7 straight games. So that's how things are going. We'll take our first break. We're just getting started on a busy Monday. Coming up, Tampa Tom's coach seemed very impressed.